guys. Well, it's morning here for me. I don't know what it is when you are watching this, but welcome back to my channel. So this is part 2. I thought I will do a review on the pattern that you guys have just watched me create in part 1 and part 2. Part 2 was just basically the rounding up of it all. So the finished product, I'm pretty happy with it. It's just so feminine. That's what I loved about it. And I thought, you know, this material, this fabric lent itself really well to it, I think, as well, because as a beginner, advanced beginner, you know, you make mistakes, but because this is quite a loud fabric, it hid a lot of my little mistakes, which was good. So just some of my mistakes that not necessarily mistakes, it was that I rushed this one. So I'd already made the first one, which you guys can see on my Instagram. I'll put a little photo of that one up here. That was my very first one I made, and I find when I make the first one, I'm a lot slower, so I take it a lot easier. I make sure that I know, I understand it. And then I find I create, my very first one is generally the best one, because then I have a really bad habit of the next ones that I make, just sort of going, oh yeah, I remember how to do that step. I remember how to do that step. It's usually a couple of days, sometimes weeks after I've actually made the first one. So I should really go back and read it properly, but I just don't, and I just don't have the time. It is something that I'm gonna really work on this year to do, is really concentrate. But I only had maybe 1 or 2 spots that I kind of went slow down. So I gathered a little, not gathered, but I caught a little bit of the bodice here when I was putting the ruffles in, I think it was. No, I can't actually remember what that is. I think I've overstitched it a bit. Yeah, so I caught a bit of, I folded the bodice just a smidge too much in that one. Not that you're meant to fold it at all, but yeah, it's just caught a little bit there. I had never done a placket, I think is what you used to call it before. This is the second one, like I said. Yeah, I just didn't follow the instructions properly for the back. The actual construction of the placket's correct, but it's more like when I've got to put the two back bodice pieces together, like when I snap them together, it doesn't sit right because I didn't turn it the right way. Make sure you read the instructions properly when you do the second one. Also, with the second one, I decided not to do the extra step of a stitch along the top here to pop this seam up that holds it up. And I think for me it was just an unnecessary step, because I didn't find there was a lot of bulk for this. Whereas I think if you weren't, I used an overlocker or a serger, so I think if you weren't to do that, maybe you'd find there'd be a bit more bulk, and then you maybe would want to have it attached to the bodice a bit more. But I just didn't, after doing the first one, I just thought that was a step that I didn't need to worry about in the second one, which just made it that little bit quicker, I suppose. Also, I didn't stay stitch around the neckline in this second one. The first one I didn't find I needed to, but the second one I wish I had of now. It did sort of pucker a little bit. I think it's the different types of fabric. Even though they literally are from the same supplier, I found that different dyes and stuff like that make a difference to fabric and changes the way fabric is sometimes. Even though you're getting it from the exact same supplier, they're getting it from the exact same suppliers, it's all like, these are digital prints. I really do think it does come down to the different dyes and stuff does have a huge difference on the fabric. So, and this is a lot more saturated in a pink, whereas the original one that I did was a lot lighter. Different dye has different properties, and that's how you get the different colors. So I suppose I think that's what it is. I think when I make the next ones, because I definitely will be making more of these because it was a lovely pattern to make, I think I will definitely do the stay stitch. So that's one thing that I didn't do that I would do, but then it's like the extra stitch along the bodice and the skirt was the extra thing that I did do that I wouldn't do. So the more you make them, the more you find out what you think is necessary for how you make it as well. So this is the baby poppy. So this is from 0 or newborn to 4 years old pattern. So then they do have like the children's version, and I think they may even have a teenager version as well. I can't be 100% sure on that one though. They come in PDF, which is great because I can just print it off at home and do it when I can, and do it when I need. The baby poppy comes with as a romper, a romper, a top, a dress, and a 2-tiered dress. That's 4 patterns. Then you can do ruffle, no ruffle. I reckon you could easily adapt it to doing 2 ruffles. I have seen it done 2 ruffles. So, you know, you could just do it perhaps with, you could use a couple of sizes bigger ruffle from the pattern pieces, but then do it as short as the actual piece that you're creating. So I did this one in a size 6 months. Now my little girl is only 5.5 months now. When she first wore this, she was 5 months old, in size 3/0s in Australia. I'm glad I did it in this size because it lends itself really beautifully to have a layering effect. So if I need to put a singlet underneath her, it's not too snug. If I don't want to put a singlet under it and it's like a really, really hot day, which it can be really random here, it's not too snug that she's going to be hot and sticky in it as well. Like, I like that. But yeah, I can put a singlet under it. I can put a singlet and a long sleeve. I'm pretty sure I've put her in, and then the dress on top. And then I've also done leggings underneath. I do want to do a nappy cover of some sort to go with this dress, but I don't know what our weather's gonna do. I don't think we're gonna have that great weather for much longer, so I don't know how long this dress is gonna last. So we'll see if I end up getting the nappy cover done or not. Because if she's wearing this with, say, just a singlet, or no singlet and just the dress, I don't like the look that you can see the nappy underneath, but that's just me. I've only made the dresses so far. I do plan to make the romper version. I might make the romper version without the ruffles. The ruffles, I love the ruffles. They look so feminine and pretty. Oh, but man, are they hard work to actually put in. They're just fiddly and annoying, but they look so pretty. Look, I probably will put the ruffles in. Yeah, probably will. But anyway, if you've never done ruffles, or gathering, or a placket, or the snap panel, which is part of the rompers, they have how-to tutorials, I'll get there, on how to do that sort of thing. So, and they even have the links to that in the actual instructions as well. So, you know, like, I use the instructions on my iPad, and then I just print off the actual pattern and not the actual instructions. I just like how that saves on paper, and it does save on bulk when I'm trying to house my patterns, because I've got a few patterns. I also like the fact that you can just click on that link straight away and it'll take you to it. So, you know, that was really handy. I didn't use them because I already knew the basics for these particular, what would you call them? Steps? Particular applications, maybe. So I didn't find I needed to. Maybe I should have, and then I could have picked up some extra hints. But that's always there, really handy for a beginner. I like that it's got a lining, so the bodice is fully lined, which just means that all your seams and everything are nice and clean, and it's just lovely to see that finished product nice and clean, I think. I love the fact that with this being a slightly more expensive material as well, if I wanted to save on my material, I could have done a slightly cheaper lining fabric instead. I did, sillily, that's not a word, I know, but silly me, did cut out 2 sets of the ruffles for some reason. So I plan on, I don't have enough to make a whole nother one or to make a whole romper or anything like that. So what I do plan on doing is maybe picking out an orange or a pink or something. I'll pick out another color in here. I'm thinking orange just for something a bit different because I'm not really an orange person. And why not, you know? That's what I like about kids' clothes too, is you can experiment really well, like, because they grow out of them so quickly. It's like, oh, if it doesn't really suit them, then it doesn't really matter, you know. But yeah, I'm thinking I have orange double gauze, and I think that would be really cool to have this as the ruffle on it and then the rest of it as an orange romper. I think that'd be cool. Let me know what you think, or if you've got any other ideas. I do have a pink double gauze as well. I don't know if I can mix like the double gauze and this sort of a woven cotton. Like, I don't know how that will stitch, if it will stitch as well, because the double gauze has a slightly more stretch in it. Like, not stretch, but like it's got a little bit more give in it. So I don't know if that will make a difference. But again, that's what I love about sewing, is you just experiment, and if it works, it works. You do it again. If it doesn't, well, you know, it's not that big of a deal, especially with kids' clothes, again, because you're using so little of it. You know, it's not like you've spent, you know, $30 making this particular piece. So yes, because of that, I've got that. But yeah, you can do a range of things. I reckon it would be really nice too if you only had like you know, because sometimes we buy really expensive material and you might only be able to get it as a remnant, or you might only get the remnant because it is such an expensive piece that you know, you can then mix and match. So with this pattern, you could do the more expensive piece on the very front, slightly less fabric on the insides and like on the ruffle or something, and then you can even change the skirt. Or if you really love mixing and matching different patterns, you know, like patterns as in the pattern on the fabric, I should specify, you know, like, so I know some people love to really mix match and go like leopard print and zebra print or something, you know. Or a beautiful company that I'm yet to buy from that's just opened up is Material Difference, and they have a beautiful artist on there, Casey Rainbow. She makes some absolutely stunning fabric designs, and it's really quite loud and vibrant colors, you know. So she's got a range that is, you know, she's got her really loud, outrageous fabrics, but then she's got the coordinates to go with it, which I think is really fun. So you could do that. You could buy, you know, just maybe half a meter, a really loud out there fabric, and then get half a meter of the coordinates, or a coordinate to it, mix and match it in this one beautiful outfit. I think that would be so fun. It really gets my creative juices thinking when I look at fabric shops, which is really, really hard to not buy because I have a huge stash. Which brings me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, is my next episode. So I'm so excited with my next episode. I'm going to have, hopefully, an organized sewing room. So that's what that will be. So you'll be able to watch me create it and work it out and have the woes and all those things, you know, trying to organize everything, because it's not just a sewing room for me. It's a sewing room, an office, a small business space, a crafting area. So it's a lot of things trying to be one thing in a one space. So that's hard. But anyway, back to it. Just quickly, I just remembered one thing I did want to say about this pattern that I think I hacked, but I don't know, because I can't remember if it said that you could do this or not. But anyway, I'm going to take the credit and say that I hacked it. I tried to do a buttonhole and a button on my original first piece, and it just didn't want to work. My machine, I think my needle needed to be changed and stuff like that. Actually think it's a stretch needle on there. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, that's another story. It just didn't want to work. So I said, you know what? A button's not going to be very practical for me to do one-handed if I have to do, like, to put together for her. Yeah, on my own kind of thing. So anyway, I decided I would get myself a snap press, and also because I was going to be making, well, because I am going to be making the romper style, I thought, well, I might as well get the snap press anyway. So I bought myself a snap press from Snap on Australia, I think. Snaps Australia? Snaps something or other, Australia. I'll link it all below for you anyway. Where I got a manual, just a pressy one, and just a hand one. You can get one that goes on the table and you like press it down. I think that would be better if you were to be doing this more as a business, because you'd probably be doing more of them. So that one probably would hurt your hand after a while. Because you do have to use quite a lot of force to get it together. I'm sorry, my cat is about to enter. So the other thing was you could order samples. So samples of the colors. So I did that. So I used the bright pink one for this one. I don't actually know what the color of it is online. That's the only thing. I do need to probably double check that, so that I can be like, okay, that's the color that I need next time. And that came with like an array of different colors, like orange, green, blues, grays, white. Oh no. So the pack that I got the machine, and I think it came with 100 white and 100 black snaps. So I've just used the color on here, but then the white on the backing part, just because I could. I thought white was better on this fabric as well, because I thought black would stand up too much. So I'll use black on darker material, I think. Although I'm not really a fan of dark materials on babies. I don't know why. I just think it, they need to be in bright colors, but that's just me as well. That's just my own opinion, So yeah, so I thought I'd do a snap instead of a button, and it definitely works well. It's a definite good one that I'll be continuing. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today's little episode. I hope I didn't ramble too much for you. I do have a tendency of doing it, and I'm doing it right now. So how about we wrap this up? Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. The next episode, like I said, will be an organizational episode, so no sewing for that one. I have a few things in the pipelines for what I want to make next. If there is something that you want to see me make, if you've seen other peony patterns that you want to make, but you're not too sure about, let me know. I can always make them. I can always grab that pattern, and yeah, I'm more than happy to do that for you guys and do a review. I really want to make the tiered one as well, the tiered dress, but I think I'll wait until she's older to make that one. I don't know, I just think it'll be cute. I think this is simple enough for her at the moment because she's so little. Again, I made the 6 month, I'm rambling again. I'm so sorry, I've already told you all this. I'll catch you around next time, guys. Peony Patterns, the poppy dress, definitely a good winner. So get onto it. See you later, guys.